Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Everybody, okay?
Waalaikumsalam, sir. Okay.
All right. So today we're going to continue the part we're going to discuss today is 11.2 or 11.3. Where is my pen? Now we will do another rule today, another rule of integration. I was looking for the other pen. It's again. The rule of integration, which is the power rule. This is the general power rule. After we have done that, then we will look at applications. So application, it's 12.1, 12.2. We will do later. Okay, we will finish the rule first, the general power rule. Then we look at applications. And then for this chapter, we are not going to cover 12.3, the exponent and log functions, okay, we don't do. Then we are going to finish up with 12.4. So 12.4 is another part of application. All right, so that is what we plan to do. So let's look at the general power rule in 12.2. Now the general power rule is similar to the general power rule in derivative. There is something like this. We start with the idea of antiderivative. So let's say I have a function. Let's say I have a function like this. What is it? Let's say I have a function y equals to 2x squared plus 5, everything to the power of 7. All right. Now, if I differentiate this function, what do I get? If I differentiate this function, we'll get what? We'll get 7 2x squared plus 5, okay, to the power of 6. And then about 6. And then you have to differentiate everything in the bracket, right? So you got 4. All right. Now, the power rule is something like this. You have a function given y prime here, like this. And then we want to find what is the function that if I integrate, okay, you will get, if I differentiate, will be, this is the derivative. Okay, so given this derivative, given this one, I want to find what is the function that if you differentiate, you get that y prime. So the function is, as you can see here, it's not that straightforward because it involves u, okay? Normally when you do this, you let u be equal to the terms in the bracket, and then you take the derivative. So similarly here, okay? But the idea is something like this, okay? So I give you the rule. So the rule is something like this. So this is the general power rule. We call it power, general power, because it is more general. It's not just a simple x, you have some compound terms in x. So the rule is the following. If I have a function y equal to, how should I write it? Okay. The integral of u of x, okay, to the power of n multiplied by u prime of x dx, that will be equal to u of x to the power of n plus 1, everything divided by n plus 1 plus a constant e. Okay, so you have something like this. So in other words, you are given some form of a function that is the derivative. So if you look at this thing here, so you get here, this is the u, right? That's the u. And then if you multiply 7 and 24, I think this thing here, okay, u prime, this is the u prime. Okay, so you have the form u of x to the power of n multiplied by u prime. If I integrate, what do I get? I get u to the power of x raised to the power of n plus 1. You add power by 1 divided by n plus 1. So you got here the power of 7. Of course, exactly it will not be the same. Okay, so exactly the same will be what? Will be you bring the 7 over here. Okay, the 7 you bring here, that becomes divided by 7. But that's the idea. You have u raised to the power of 6 multiplied by u prime. And then what is the integral? The integral is you just simply u to the power of 7, everything divided by 7. Okay, all right. And in short, we can just use u prime dx. If that is our function, then the integral will be u to the power of n plus 1, everything divided by n plus 1 plus c. Okay? All right. So here, our function, okay, our function that you want to integrate, all right, would be y equal to 2x squared plus 5 to the power of 6 4x. So that is our function. Okay. And then what you do next is that you let u be the terms in the bracket. So you let u be equal to 2x squared plus 5. Then u prime is equal to 4x. So what do I have? I have y equal to u, okay, to the power of what? 6 multiplied by u prime. So I integrate y. That means I am integrating u to the power of 6 u prime dx. Okay, so that is the form of the function which come from here. So if I write back into in terms of x, then the original form was 2x to the power of 2 plus 5, everything to the power of 6 multiplied by 4x dx. So that is the function that I want to integrate. Okay, you got the idea? And the integral will be equal to what? The integral will be equal to simply u raised to the power of n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus a constant c. So for this thing here, the integral will be 2x plus 5 to the power of 7 divided by 7 plus c. Okay? All right. So let's now do it according to the rule. So what you do here is, in order to get the integral of this function, the example, all right, now you want to find the integral of the function. So let's apply the rule. So this is how we do it. So you have to write the function. You want to find the integral of 2x squared plus 5 to the power of 6. So I want to find the integral of 2x squared plus 5 to the power of 6 for x dx. And of course, that is integral of y dx. So how do you do that? Now we know the rule. Okay, what is the rule? The rule says, if I have a function u multiplied by u prime, the integral will be equal to what? Equal to u to the power of n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So we will proceed. You let u be equal to 2x squared plus 5. Okay. And then what is u prime? U prime is 4x. Okay. So now what you see here is the u is the terms in the bracket. That is u. And that's for x is u prime. Okay, u prime is for x. So you look at that thing here. U prime is equal to 4x, which is given in the function. Okay, so therefore, what you have is that the integral will be equal to something like this: u to the power of 6, u prime dx. So what is the integral? The integral is simply u to the power of 7 plus divided by 7 plus c, that will be equal to, now put into the bracket the x's, you get 2x squared plus 5 to the power of 7 divided by 7 plus c. Okay, you got it? Okay. Okay. Now, we look at another example. I give you example number 2. Okay, example 2, if I have the integral of 5x to the power of 7, 5x to the power of 3 plus 21, all right, raised to the power of 2. And then here I have 15x squared dx. So now integrate, find the integral. Okay, so find the integral. So you apply the power rule. All right. So what do? We make sure that, the power rule says what? Says that if you have u multiplied by u prime, I want to integrate that. The integral will be what? Will be equal to u to the power of n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. Okay. So what I do will be, I let u be equal to the terms in the bracket. And then I take u prime, which is what? 15x squared. So you go back to the equation. What do I have? I have here this the u. What about this? That's u prime. So the form that you have is exactly the form for the power rule. So I have u to the power of 2 multiplied by u prime, which is 15x squared dx. And what is the integral? The integral will be u raised to the power by 1 divided by the new power. So you got u to the power of 3 divided by 3 plus c. And what do I have? I bring in the bracket again. I got 5x cubed plus 21 to the power of 3 over 3 plus c. Okay, now we did 2 examples. Any question? Anything about the rule? Okay, so the form, all right, the form that we should have in order for us to do this rule is that you must have the function u to the power of n multiplied by u prime. Right? Because that is the idea that's coming from, of course, the antiderivative. Okay. All right. Now let's do another example. So example number 3. Okay, this one I want you to do. So you find the integral of 10x to the power of -4 minus 31 to the power of 8. The -40 to the power of -5 dx. Okay, now get the integral of this function. Okay, what is u? You let u be the terms in the bracket. Okay, you let u be the terms in the bracket. And then what? And then what is u prime? Ramai tak datang lah ini. Lepas test mu tak datang. Patutnya lepas test lagi nak datang. Okay, so what is u prime? You let u be equal to the terms in the bracket, all right? So u is equal to 10 x to the power of -4 minus 31. Okay, what is u prime?
-40.
Negative?
Oh, negative.
You have negative 40. Oh, I missed the x. I'm sorry. That should be an x, not to the power of 40, not -40 to the power of 5. It should be x to the power of -5. Okay. So what is u prime? What was the u prime? U prime is equal to -40 x to the power of -5. Okay. So what do I have? I have the form. The u prime, okay, u prime is -40x to the power of -5. So that is u prime. And then this is u. So I have the form integrate u to the power of what? To the power of 8 multiplied by u prime dx. So what is integral? The integral is u to the power of 9 over 9 plus c. Now you put in the terms in the bracket. We have 10x to the power of -4 minus 31, all right, over 9 divided by 9 plus c. Okay. All right. Okay, any question about this? Okay, I give you another example. So now, let's say I have the integral of 5x to the power of 6 plus 25. Okay, everything to the power of 4 x to the power of 5 dx. Okay, do the integration here. Find u and then find u prime. Okay, this is example number 4. All right, what is u prime here?
Sir,
Yes,
isn't it 30x to the power of 5?
that's what I'm asking you. What is u prime?
30x to the power of 5.
The u prime is 30x to the power of 5. Okay, so now if I let u be equal to 5x to the power of 6 plus 25, we find that u prime is 30x to the power of 5. But, all right, what you have is, but what is given, but we are given what? X to the power of 5. Now, x to the power of 5, is it u prime? It is not u prime. Okay, because u prime is 30x to the power of 5. But what you have in the equation is only x to the power of 5, and that is not u prime. So, what can we do? Because that is not u prime. Okay, this is what we can do. Here, we can make some adjustment. All right, we can make some adjustment so that you will make some adjustment so that you will get u prime equal to 30x to the power of 5. Okay, now what do we do? Okay, this is the rule. Okay, this is the method. We can multiply. Okay, multiply by a ratio of constants of two same constants. Okay, same constant, a ratio of two same constant. That means you multiply by a over a, where a are the constants. Okay, a is the constant. So if I multiply by a over a, all right, for example, let's say I multiply by 2 over 2. Now 2 over 2 is equal to what?
1.
Equal to 1. A over a is equal to 1. Now, if I multiply by this ratio of the same constant, that is equal to 1. And that will not, okay, that will not change our equation. That not change the equation. We must not change the equation, okay, because if I change the equation, then it will be a different equation, which we are not supposed to do, okay? So you cannot multiply by 3 over 4, okay? You cannot, because 3 over 4 is not equal to 1, so you will change it, all right? So this one I cannot do. I can only multiply by ratio of same constants, 2 of them, that is equal to 1. So that makes the function equivalent, okay, equivalent. It does not change the equation that you have. Okay, understood? So you multiply by a over a, okay? Both are constants because the ratio is equal to 1. So now let's go back to the example. So what you have is x to the power of 5, which is not u prime. U prime is 30x to the power of 5. So how do you make adjustment so that I have 30 in the equation? So here I need 30. Okay, so what do we do? The method that we have, is what? We can multiply by ratio of two constants like this, which is equal to 1. So what do we do?
Multiply 30 over 30.
So you multiply by 30 over 30. Okay, so in order to do that integration, we multiply by 30 over 30. Okay, so here I continue here. I multiply by 30 over 30. So you start from here. Okay, you start from here. So, you know, u prime is 30x to the power 5, but what we have is x to the power 5, which is not u prime. So So what do we do? So I take out the question mark. So we multiply by, I will continue on the next page. So you multiply by 30 over 30. Now, when you multiply by 30 over 30, what you have is now I got 30 over 30. I put that. All right. And then the function. Okay, what was the function? I didn't write down. 5x to the power of 6. 5x to the power of 6 plus 25. Plus 25 to the power of 4 plus 25 to the power of 4 x to the power of 5 dx. Okay, so you multiply by 30 over 30, doesn't change a thing. So now what you do, you rearrange the terms. So the first 30, the 30 on the numerator, you bring it to the u prime. And then the denominator 1 over 30, just a constant. So you take out that 1 over 30 because it's just follow, we'll just follow the integral. Okay, so I have now 5x to the power of 6 plus 25 x to the power of 4 and then multiply by 30 x to the power of 5 dx. So what do I have? I have the form. Okay, this is u, that is u prime. And of course, you are multiplying by a constant, 1 over 30. There, you don't forget about that. So, thing is, I can do the integral. So what is the integral? You have u to the power of 7, u to the power of 4, u prime dx. And then what is the integral? The integral is what? U to the power of 5 over 5 plus c. And of course, you multiply by that, 1 over 30. All right? So what you got will be 1 over 30 u to the power of, power is 5. 5 over 5 plus c. And then you put in the u. So 1 over 30. Now, not 30 times 5 is 150. So 1 over 150. Okay, multiply by whatever the x is to the power of 5 plus c. Okay. All right. Okay. So I got that example number 4, number 5. So now example number 5. Let's say I have the following. Find the integral of 9x to the power of 7 minus 51 to the power of 10. Now x to the power of 6 dx. Okay, find the integral. So first you let u be the terms in the bracket, and then you find u prime, and then see what we can do. Okay, go ahead, do it. I'll give you 3 minutes. Okay, what is u prime? If you let u be the terms in the bracket, what is u prime? Anybody?
72x to the power of 6.
9 times 7 is...
63.
9 times 7 berapa? 72, eh? No, I don't think so.
63.
63. So the u prime, we should get 63 to the power of 63x to the power of 5. So now, what we have in the equation is x to the power of 6. So now what do? You multiply by what?
63 over 63.
Then you multiply by 63 over 63. Okay, so that you will get the u prime. We can multiply only by a ratio of constant. So good. So we got u, okay, equal to 9x to the power of 7 minus 51. And then u prime is equal to 63x to the power of 6. But we are given, or we have x to the power of 6. And that is not u prime. Okay, so what do? So you multiply by 63 over 63. Now we know the rule. Okay, if you multiply by 63 over 63, like what I did for the 30 over 30, the numerator you multiply into the supposed to be u prime, and then the denominator you just take it out. So we do it right away, okay, because we know already the things. So what I have is 1 over 63. I put it right away outside. Multiply by 9x for 7 minus 51 to the power of 10. And then the numerator I multiply by x power 6 dx. So now I have, okay, I have the form. That is u to the power of 10. That's u prime. Okay, so I have now 1 over 63 integral of u multiplied by u prime dx. So what is integral? 1 over 63 u to the power of 11. Okay, here is power of 10. I forgot to put that. So make sure you have the power. Let me see. I have the power last time. Okay, so u to the power of n, all right? So u to the power of 10. So now you got u to the power of 11 divided by 11 plus c. And that is equal to, you put in the u. So 63 times 11. I will multiply. 63 multiplied by 11, that is 693. So 1 over 693 multiplied by 9x to the power of 7 minus 51 to the power of 11 plus c. Okay, so that is how we do it. We can multiply by ratio of two constants. Okay, all right. Okay, I give you another example. So now I give you another example number 6. So example number 6, okay, I'm looking for a function. Okay. Example number 6. Suppose I have the following function, integrate. Okay. 20x to the power of 5 plus 97 to the power of 6 multiplied by 5x to the power of 4 dx. All right. Now, find the derivative. No, I'm sorry. Find the integral. All right. What is u prime?
100x the power of 4.
U prime is 100x over 4. But what you have is 5x over 4. And that is not u prime. All right. So how do you adjust to make it 100? You multiply by what?
20 over 20.
You multiply by 20 over 20. Okay. You multiply by 20 over 20, then you will get 100. So what you do, all right, I will continue to write this, so that we will improve understanding. Plus 97, and then you will see that u prime is equal to 100 x to the power 4. But we have, okay, 5x to the power 4, which is not u prime. So what do? We need 100, right? So what do? You multiply by 20 over 20. So you multiply by 20 over 20, then you will take it, the readjustment, then you have the 100, okay? And then the denominator will be 1 over 20. So you multiply by 20 over 20, I will bring the 120 over here, and then, okay, I put the 20 sini dulu lah, so that you can see it. 20x for 5 plus 97 for 6, 5x for 4 dx. So I write an extra step. And you got a 20 there, 5. So multiply that out, you will get the u prime, which is 100 x power 4 dx. Then we can integrate. Okay, so you'll see what you have is u here, that's u prime. Okay, I want you to finish it up. All right, you multiply by 20 over 20, then you get the expression. So give me the final answer, which is u to the power of n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. And what is that n plus 1? Okay, so go ahead, finish it up. Okay, what is the final answer? Anybody got it? Just tell me the final form.
20x
Huh?
the power
Next.
of 20x to the power of 5 plus 97 bracket to the power of 6 divided by 140 plus c.
Okay, I think that is not right. Okay, that is not right. So anybody got it? I think the power, you missed the power. Okay, what is the integration? Anybody who get a different answer than our friend?
Oh, yes, sir. The power is 7.
So you got the power of 7. Okay, now, right. Read for me again. So you got u prime, all right. So now I will write down your final answer. So what is your final answer? Okay, tell me again.
20x to the power of 5
20x to the power of 5 plus
plus
97
97
to the power of 7
to the power of divided by 140
divided by 140
plus t.
plus c.
C.
Okay. Now, how do you get 140?
20 times 7.
20 times 7. Okay, so you got 20 times 7, that is 140. Now, why this become 20, you know? Oh, I'm sorry. The form, the 20, why didn't you tell me? I got it wrong. So that is 20. No, not 50. Okay, that's 20. So you have 20x power 5 plus 97 to the power of 7. Everything divided by 140. Okay, is that right? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. We let u be the terms in the bracket, and then you have you will multiply by 20 over 20. So you got this one. All right. So what we will get is this. That will be 1 over 20. Okay. U to the power of 6. U prime dx. Okay. And then that will be equal to 1 over 20 multiplied by the integral of this here. So you got u to the power of 7 divided by 7 plus c. Okay. Now you put in the u, which is 20x to the power 5 plus 97, then will be equal to that. So that's how you got 140 at the bottom, because we already have adjustment there, 1 over 20. You multiply by 1 over 7, that will be 1 over 140. All right. And then the u, you substitute back the original form in terms of x, you get that thing. Okay. All right. Good. So that is the way. Okay. Now I'll give you another example. So for this thing, I need to give a lot of examples. Okay. So one more. Let's say I have 7x to the power of 5. Kita banyak dah 5 kan? To the power of 6 minus 500 to the power of 3 multiplied by x to the power of 5 dx. Okay. Now you do this. How do you make the adjustment so that you have the u prime, the right u prime?
No.
Okay, now what is u prime? If you let u be the terms in the bracket, and now what is u prime?
Forty-two x 5.
The u prime is 42x to the power 5. Okay, but what is in the equation is 5x to the power 5. So now, how do you multiply? Okay, what do you multiply 5 with? Or in other words, how do you get the u prime? You multiply by ratio of what constant to what constant, because you are given 5. Okay, previously it's quite easy because I have 20. You know, I have 5. So 5 times 20 is 100. But here, you will see here 5 and 42. You need 42. You are given 5. So it's not as straightforward as what you have in the previous example. So you multiply by what ratio?
8.4.
3.4?
8.4.
8.4. So you multiply by 8.4. 8.4, betul ke? 8.4 you multiply by 5. Okay. You multiply by something that is decimal, in decimal point, you know. Sometimes you can also do that. Okay, you can multiply by berapa tu? 8.4 over 8.4. Okay, you can. Okay, now I don't want decimal numbers. I want only whole number. You multiply by some number without the decimal point, so that we get 40, 42. Okay, so this one I'm not saying it's not right. Okay, that's correct. But I want you to multiply by some whole number. Okay, not in decimal point. So u is equal to 7 to the power of 6 minus 500. And u prime is 42 x to the power of 5. So, okay. So you need, I need 42 instead of 5. So you can multiply by this one. But I want to multiply by a ratio of 2 whole numbers without decimal point. Okay, anybody?
42 over 5.
So you cannot multiply by 42 over 5. If you multiply by 42 over 5, you get the 42 for the u prime. But 42 over 5 is not equal to 1. Okay, 42 over 5 is bigger than 1. You cannot do that because that will change the equation. Okay, so what do you multiply by with? This is all. This is closer already. Okay, you are moving in the right direction. You multiply by 42, but 42 over 5 is bigger than 1. You cannot do that. We must multiply by ratio of something equal to 1. So what do? Ni dah dekat dah ni. Ini dah 50%. Okay? 50% on the way. Ini kat balik kampung ni. Dah sampai dah Genting Sempah. Dah sampai dekat border. Okay, multiply by what? Okay, I give you the hint. All right? It should be something like this. Okay, I give you a hint. Can we multiply by 5 over 5? Because 5 over 5 is equal to 1. Can we multiply by 5 over 5? Yes or no?
Yes.
Apa pula yes pula? If you multiply by 5 over 5, then what you get? You get 25. We don't want 25, you want 42. Okay? So you multiply by 5 over 5, that is not right. Okay, what option do you have? There is one more option that you have. The last option, what is it?
42 over 42.
You multiply by 42 over 42. Okay? Because you need 42. All right? So don't worry about the 5. You need the 42. Okay? You multiply by 42 over 42. And then the 5 and the 1 over 42, you rearrange. You cannot multiply by 42 over 5 because that is not equal to 1. You cannot multiply by 5 over 5 because that will not get the u prime. Okay? So what you do, the simple rule is that you multiply by the value of the constant in the u prime, whatever it is, whatever it should be. Okay? Whatever it should be. So you multiply by 42 over 42, then what we'll get will be, I bring down, okay, I bring out the 1 over 42, I bring out, okay, and then I have what? I have 7x to the power of 6 minus 500 to the power of 3. Now the 42 on the numerator, I put at the x power 5. So now I got 42 x to the power 5, dx. Okay, now where? Where is the 5? Where should the 5 go? The 5 is a constant, so you can take it out. Okay, you take it out, you bring it there, you got 5 over 42. All right, so what you do here is, when you multiply by 42 over 42, that 42 on the numerator, you bring it here. The 5, that was the coefficient of the x power 5, you bring it out there. And of course, the denominator will be there. Okay, so now I have what? I have u, and then I have u prime. So our form will be 5 over 42, integral of u to the power of 3, u prime dx. And then that will be equal to 5 over 42, u to the power of 4 divided by 4 plus c. And then put in the u, you got the final form. Okay, of course you multiply the constants. Huh? Okay, all right. Any question about this? So let's say you are given, okay, this is just another example. Let's say you are given 7 x to the power of 7. You are given 8, okay, 8x to the power of 5. All right, you want 42. So what do? You multiply by 42 over 42. Okay, you multiply by 42 over 42. And then you make the adjustment. All right. Okay, I'll give you another example. Okay, you done? Okay, one example, another example. Another example of this one. By now, you know, we should be able to do it quickly. So let's say I have 2x to the power of 10 minus the power of 2 to the power of 2. And then I have 7x to the power of 9. Okay. Now, for this one, of course, you can finish up the integration, but I don't want to do that. I just want you to get the u prime. Now, what do you multiply with to get the correct u prime? Because you are given a 7 there. What is u prime? We just do it, you know, do it intuitively. You don't have to solve it. You don't have to write down anything. You can finish it up at home. Okay. If you let u be the terms in the bracket, what is u prime?
U prime is 20x over 9.
U prime is 20x to the power of 9. Okay, so u prime is 20x to the power of 9. But I have 7 here, so you multiply by what? In order to get 20. Ratio of what number? Kita guna example tadi
7
lah.
over 7, sir.
No, 7 over 7. If you multiply by 7 over 7, that is right, that is wrong. You multiply by 7 over 7, you will get 41 over 7, 49 over 7, I'm sorry. You want 20, so you multiply by what? By the previous example.
20 over
20 over 20.
You multiply by 20 over 20. Okay? Don't worry about that coefficient. You worry only about what? You worry about the correct one. Okay? So you just multiply by that ratio. And then the constant that's given before, you just readjust, correct? So you multiply by that. Okay, now I think we know how to do that already. I'll give you another one. Okay, this is another form, but it's not as straightforward as the one that we have earlier. Okay, let me find. Okay, let me find one function, one equation. Okay, I thought I saw the thing. Come on, really. Something like this. Let's say I have. Sekejap, saya tulis dulu, kasih dalam. Let's say you have. Okay, let's say I have something like this. I have 2x to the power of 4 minus 4x to the power of 3. And then I have 2x cubed minus 1 dx. So the same principle, all right? But if you look at the u prime, because you have terms in the bracket for the you don't have, the other term is not a constant. It's also in terms of x. So you get u prime consisting of two terms. So how do you make the adjustment? Okay, do this one. All right, first, okay, what is u prime? Anybody who get the u prime? I just want you to do that. What is
8x minus 4.
you have 8x minus 4. Okay, so u prime is 8x to the power of 3 minus 4. Okay, but what you have, what you are given is 2x cubed minus 1. So what do we do? In order for you to get the u prime, okay, what you given, what you have is 2x cubed minus 1, which is not the u prime. Okay, what do we do? You multiply by what? In order for you to get the right.
4/4?
No, it's not 1/4.
Oh, but 4/4, sir.
You multiply by 4/4. Okay, so you need 8x minus 4. You got 2x cubed minus 1. So in order to do that, you multiply by 4. But you cannot multiply by 4. You have to multiply by 4/4. So you multiply by 4/4. So if you multiply by 4/4, then what you get u prime, which is 8x cubed minus 4, and then the 1/4 that you will bring out. Okay, so if I do that, I got 1/4, the integral 2x to the power of 4 minus 4x to the power of 3. Then the 4, okay, I multiply by 2x cubed minus 1 dx. And you write another step. Okay, you multiply this out, then you get that one. Okay, and then you will get the integral. Okay, all right. So there is another step. So you just go home, finish it up. Okay, any question, anything? Okay, one last option. Okay, the other option is this. Let me go back to this function. Suppose, all right, I'm going to use this thing. I will do that. I will write down. Now, let's say I just rewrite this example. Let's say I have 2x to the power of 10 minus 15 squared. Now I have 20x to the power of 7. All right. So what is the problem here with this new function? Okay, this one. What is the problem? Look at the u prime. Right?
Power of x.
You see here, u prime is actually should be x 20x to the power of 8. All right. Now, what you have is 20x to the power of 7. So, question is, can we make the adjustment by the rule that we just discussed so that you have x to the power of 8? How can you get to the x to the power of 8? What do you have to multiply that with?
Sir,
Yeah.
isn't it x to the power of 9?
Huh? Yeah. So now, I know the integral would be what? 20x to the power of 9. Is that right? But you have, okay, in the equation, okay, you have what? I have 20x to the power of 7. That is not u prime. Okay, u prime is 20x to the power of 9. Okay, we know that already. But this is another question. Okay, this is another question. So, how can you make it? How can, or what adjustment do we have to make in order to get the u prime?
X power of 2 over x power of 2.
So one way is, like our friend said, you multiply by x to the power of 2 over to the power of 2. Okay, so that I get x to the power of 9. And then the x to the power of 2, I bring out. Okay, so now my question is, can we do this? Can we do that? So if you multiply by x power of 2, okay, that x power of 2 will be over here. Will be not over there. I can put it here. If you multiply by x power of 2, then what you have will be here. 1 x power of 2, kasi 2. And then x power of 2, sini, x power of 9. Okay, now, what is the integral? Here you have x power of 2. Okay? No, that's a variable. You cannot take it out. So now how do you integrate? So my question is, can we do that? Can you multiply by x to the power of 2 over x to the power of 2?
No, sir.
You cannot. Why you cannot? Because like I said earlier, we can only multiply by what? By ratio
coefficient.
of constant. Okay? We cannot multiply by ratio of variables. So the limitation is this. We can only multiply by ratio of constant. A over A, constant. All right? Not variable. Okay? Not x over x or whatever, x squared over x squared or whatever it is, x cubed over x cubed. Okay, you cannot. Okay, we can only make adjustment as far as the constant goes. Not if the adjustment you have to make, that will change the power to the x, that thing we cannot do. So if you have this kind of question, all right, you have 20x to the power of 7. We cannot do the adjustment by multiplying by x squared over x. Okay, we cannot do. So therefore, our conclusion is that you can't integrate. Okay, we can't integrate by the power rule. So this is like a saddle point. You know, you have a saddle point. That's it. You stop there. So similarly here, if the difference is by the power of the x, which is in the u prime, we cannot integrate. All right, because you cannot multiply by ratio of variable. We can only multiply by ratio of constant. Okay. All right. So I think I cover enough of this. So the power rule, basically that is 12.2. Yeah, 12. So 12.2, I give you for the holiday. Okay, we have a 1 week holiday. Hari Raya, we cannot go anywhere, you know, stay home. So do the questions. So I would like you to do these questions, you know, 12.2, do from 3 up to, you can do 34. Okay, now do as many as you can, you can do as many. Right? You may not have to do all, but if you can do all, that's good. But you do as many as you can until we feel comfortable, you know, applying the general power rule. Okay, all right. Now, anything else? I think I will stop here. The application we will do after the break. Okay, after the break, we start over. Because the first half is too long, you know, 10 weeks. Okay, yeah.
I'm still curious. How about when we put x over x to the power of 2 over x to the power of 2, where we put another x over to the power of 2?
Where is it? Now.
Yeah, the
X to the power of 2. Okay. Don't worry about that. Because why? Because we cannot do it. Okay. You cannot multiply by x over x. Okay. You cannot multiply. So you don't have to worry about making the adjustment. You just conclude that I cannot integrate by the power rule. Because the rule says I can only multiply by ratio of constant. Okay, not ratio of variables. Okay, you got it?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, coming back to your question. Having said that, having understood that, for your question, in just for the sake of discussion, okay, your question, why do I get x squared over here? You multiply by x squared over x squared. You multiply by x squared over x squared. Okay, the numerator here, x squared, you multiply by x power 7. Okay, when you multiply by x power 7, what do I get? I get x to the power of 9. So that x squared over top, you multiply that. Okay, so you get x to the power of 9. And then x squared in the denominator, you bring it up. Okay. Is that what you were asking me?
Yes, thank you.
But that is only for computation. Okay, but we cannot do the integration. So that is the basic principle. Okay.
Only
all right. Okay, good. Okay, anything else? All right. So I will see you after the break. All right. Okay. Have a nice holiday. Have a nice break. I wish you, since I'm not going to see you before the Hari Raya, I wish everyone happy Hari Raya. or Eid Mubarak to everyone. So stay safe, okay? Stay safe. In Malaysia, the cases are increasing. In Indonesia, I think similar, but Indonesia say, don't be like Malaysia. Indonesia is getting better or stable or worse? Huh?
The amount of cases getting better, sir.
Ah, getting better. Okay, that's good. In our case, our country in Malaysia, a little bit worse off, but not as bad. But still, we have a long way to go. The cases is
Yeah.
still in 4 digit, so that's still a long way to go. I do not know how long we will be in this thing. Maybe one more year or 2 more years. You never know. So stay safe. All right. So I see you again after the break. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Eid Mubarak.
Thank you.
Mubarak everyone.
sir.
Eid Mubarak, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Eid Mubarak.
Thank you, sir. Eid Mubarak.
Thank you.